Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Greg Marshall, the owner and founder of Fit Your Marketing. You could also call me the marketing nerd because I'm constantly testing new and different ads across many different platforms to make sure I always give you the most updated information when it comes to high converting advertising. Okay, and this is exactly what I do to teach my teams on how to actually make the ads work. So a question we get asked all the time from clients is, how do we create ads and what should they look like? So the first question I typically get is, how many ads should I create and how many variations? Okay, so a good cadence for you to make your ads is make 3 to 5 new variations every 1 to 2 weeks is what I recommend. The reason for that is to make sure that we're always adding and refreshing ad creatives to try to beat the winning ads. And this is how we optimize to get better results. The next thing is, if you don't know what to say in your ads, obviously reach out to your media buyer or customer service rep and we'll definitely help you out with that. But here's what you want to do when you're creating the ads. You want to basically have a good ad hook, which is the first line in your ad, right? So it would be like, hey, women who want to lose 100 pounds, right? That's an ad. Or learn the 7 secrets on how we made more money than anyone in the entire world. Another ad hook, right? And you see them all day, but you want to have an ad hook that's designed to go ahead and get people to stop their scroll and stop and drop everything they're doing. The next thing you want to do is you want your content piece in there. So what you're going to do is, once you have a strong ad hook, you want to make sure you're actually saying what it is you do, what problem you solve, and then what timeline you can pretty much solve that problem. This is kind of the educational piece. So for example, an ad creative that I used that worked really well was Facebook ads used to be easy, but they're not anymore. So that's the ad hook. Then we said, before, all you had to do was click the boost post button and then you can have a flood of leads coming in, okay? But the content piece that we put in there is, what you wanna do is making sure that in your ads, you're saying things such as who it's for, when it's designed, why we're doing it, how to click here. Like, you're giving them content on what to do next, and then you wanna have a call to action. In the content, you want it to be somewhat educational so that they're essentially learning something, like it's almost free value, so that you're demonstrating that you're the actual expert in what it is you do. An example would be, Facebook ads used to be easy, but they're not anymore. Now, so that's the ad hook. Then the content is, now what you have to do is you have to make sure that when you create your ads, you're having strong ad creative and you're targeting the right audiences and you're letting the content do the targeting. That would be the actual content piece that you're educating the audience. And then you need to have a call to action. Okay, so it's click the link below to do this, or click to learn more, or watch this video, or making sure that you're telling what to do next, okay? So that's what you say in your ads. And the ads typically just need to be anywhere between a minute to 3 to 4 minutes. You can get away with longer ads on YouTube. And then if you're using Meta, like Instagram or Facebook, you can keep them up to a minute, and that's totally fine. The key is the messaging, what you're saying, and of course the ad hook. The ad hook is everything. So if you don't have the ad hook right, they're not even gonna watch the rest of the video that you create. So make sure you're focusing 80% of your time on the ad hook. The next question we typically get is, can you use stock photos? I typically recommend no. And the reason for that is because if you're using stock photos, it doesn't stand out enough and it screams out, this is an ad. And your goal is to make something that's interesting or entertaining that causes the person to want to stop because they don't think it's an ad, right? And so I highly recommend you don't use stock photos, because what this does is it also communicates to the rest of the world that you're just like every other company, you're just like your competitors, which that's the last thing you want to do. So don't use stock photos. You want to create your own photos. Now, another question we get asked when it comes to, okay, where do I get these photos? Well, they don't have to be crazy. All you have to do, they could be selfie photos, photos of your customers, photos with you and your customers, photos of the product. The key is just to make sure that it's easy to see and it's very clear. And if for some reason the picture isn't clear, you're gonna wanna make sure you get a graphic designer or something like that to just clean it up. Or there's AI tools that can help you clean it up as well. But this is the part where you don't wanna overthink it when it comes to how the picture should be, but you also don't wanna be lazy and just get stock photos, right? So you wanna think about your branding, your messaging, and how it relates to whatever it is that you do. So I highly recommend that you're always using custom photos. Do a photo shoot, get someone to take your photos or get photos from other clients or customers, but do not use stock photos. The next questions that we tend to get when it comes to how do I make good ads is, do I just sell them in the ad? How long does the ad copy need to be? And the answer to that is it can be as long as it needs to be, as long as it's communicating exactly what it is that you're selling. Because good ads are all about sales. At the end of the day, you're putting your ad in front of the right people, but if you put the wrong message in front of the right people, it will not convert. And so you wanna make sure you have a good cadence of making new ads all the time. You wanna make sure you're focusing on your headlines, because that's 80% of the work. And you wanna make sure you're always taking photos and gathering photos, and you do not wanna use stock photos in your ad creatives. And then another question we get is, do we need to add text on the photos or images? And the answer is, it depends. So yes and no. What I would recommend you do is you can add some text to the image as well as just have it with no text, because our jobs as your media buyers and your marketers is to test those to see which ones work the best anyways, which you will get a report on exactly what's working and what's not every other week. And so make sure you have images that could have no text and text on them. And then even with the text that are on them, just do small variations of that text so we can also test which one stands out the most. Okay, the cadence on how often you should be creating these new ads is as often as you can, just to get into the habit of it, because here's how advertising works. You have to keep refreshing your ad creatives. And remember, ad creatives, all they mean is pictures or videos. But you have to keep refreshing them, because the target audience you're going after, if they just see the same ad over and over and over again, they'll start to get annoyed, and or they won't take the action that you want, because you'll get initial success from the ad because the person that resonated with the ad actually took the action. But then after that, they've already taken the action. So there's no reason they would take action anymore. So if you start to see a drop in your click-through rates or response rates from your ads, 9 times out of 10 is because you need to refresh your ad creatives. Okay, so the cadence is minimum. I think you should be doing them once a week, just with some level of variation, to always make sure you have things kind of stockpiled so that when you do need to have an ad creative refresh, you always have it. Because the number one mistake that people make when it comes to this is they don't make enough ad creatives and they don't take this part of their business seriously. And that's where we're gonna help drive you to make more ads so that we can get the results that you're looking for.